أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. In their hearts is disease, so Allah has increased their disease, and for them is a painful punishment because they used to lie. Ayah number 10, Surah Al Baqarah. In the previous ayah we found out about the munafiqun, that their deception, their fraud basically, their trickster behavior. And at the end Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed us, وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ, that they don't even realize in how huge of a crime they are in. And you see, the few things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned so far, it relates to things that are in the heart, or especially وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ, it relates to things that we have, which is fear, shame, or those things relate to the heart. So it leads to this question, don't these people have a heart? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs us, yes, these people do have a heart, but the heart has a problem. And we can easily understand this in many different ways. Like someone has paralysis, they will have hands, they will have legs and things like that, but you poke at it, does the person hurt? No. They have hands, but they don't have the senses in it. Similarly, recently we had the COVID, yeah? Whenever those people who had COVID, they had tongue, they had the same mouth and everything. When they used to eat things, the salt or the taste was not there. It used to feel like blunt. Why? Because they have lost the senses of it. So same thing is happening in here. The heart, which they have lost those senses, is ill. So it does not accept the haqq, it does not accept the truth. So this is basically happening. This is one illness Allah mentioned in here. Another illness Allah mentioned is فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. It increases. It's not like they have been diagnosed with the illness and it's stable. It's deteriorating. As the time passes by, it becomes worse and worse and worse. We'll discuss how does it become worse later on, inshallah. So that's the first two things. Now there are two ways of understanding. Is that وَمَا يَخْدَعُ فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. One is that is this the information with regards to the heart, that the heart becomes worse, or it is like the curse of Allah? It is like the la'an of Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala curses these people. So both ways we can understand that. Yeah, it could be the curse of Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has his like bad dua we call it, yeah, or it is the information about the heart that it becomes worse and worse. So it's like a khabar. Now in their heart there is disease. It says fi qulubihim. Fi, it is used to emphasize it that it is inside their heart. It's like they are full blown. It's like I don't know how you guys don't understand Urdu, but it's like iske kone mein marz hai. It's like it has gone to every part of the heart. The illness has gone in. So that's how worse these people have become. Now there is another very important point, and it will make sense, inshallah. Is you see the heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions fi qulubihim marad, and in Surah An-Nas there is الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ. It talks about the shaitan, that the shaitan whispers in the chests of the human beings, yeah. And in here it says fi qulubihim marad, and in their hearts there is a disease. So there are two different things. The chest is like a dharf, is a place. Like you have a castle, and in the castle we have the backyard and the front and the gardens and things like that, and there is a door that you go inside the castle. So same thing. The door internally is the heart, and the outside of it is the sadr. The outside of it is the chest. The shaitan has access to the chest, but he does not have access to the heart unless you allow it. So what the shaitan does? He knocks. He brings one kind of sin, another kind of sin, bad friend in front of you, drug kind of situation comes in front of you. Do you open the door to shaitan? If you open the door to shaitan, what is shaitan going to do? He's going to go inside, and he's going to stay in there. But when someone, for example, you let someone come to your house, they are your host for a little while, and then you let them be in the house for a long time, what's going to happen? They're going to change the decoration, they're going to change everything according to their own taste. You understand this example, yeah? So shaitan will go inside, and shaitan will change everything in the heart according to his own taste. He's going to put the chair wherever he wants to put. He's going to put the bed whatever color he wants. He's going to paint the house in that kind of fashion. So he's going to design the heart in his own taste. So everything you feel like, you will feel like shaitan. Whatever shaitan wants to do, you will feel like that. Like later on it's going to come, and it is like a hint towards it. Allah says, وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينَ. Of course, talk about the men, but when they go alone and they are in their seclusion with the shayateen. So of course, one can be in seclusion with their own self, thinking that I have deceived the people and I have done this and this, and they're planning wrong things. So you are alone with your own shaitan as well as with the human beings. So the point that I'm making in here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this very heart. Those people who have let the shaitan in, and the shaitan has become the host, and you guys have become the guest basically. So what happens? أَفَمَنْ كَانَ عَلَى بَيِّنَةٍ مِّن رَبِّهِ كَمَنْ زُيِّنَ لَهُ سُوءُ عَمَلِهِ. وَاتَّبَعُوا أَهْوَاءَهُمْ. So is he who is on clear evidence from his Lord like him to whom the evil of his work has been made attractive, and they follow their own desires. So the heart, whatever now you feel like, you all want to do haram. It drags you to filth. It does no, for example, take a situation in here. When you're sitting in halaq of Quran, because we're learning about Allah, we're learning about what our master is saying, what we're going to do, what we're going to avoid. This is very burdensome. But if it was like games that if you were to play like FIFA, whatever it was, or if you were to put like Kung Fu Panda or something in here, like a cartoon, all of you will be enjoying it. There will be like no stress whatsoever, no one will be moving around. They'll be so focused, no movement whatsoever. Why? Because the shaitan has worked on us for so long that everything else which does not take us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has become easy on us, but that which is to Allah, that is sitting around the masjid, sitting with good people, staying away from haram and things like that, has become burdensome because we have let the shaitan in for too long. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that those people who don't let shaitan in around those people inside their heart, what is their situation? وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ حَبَّبَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْإِيمَانَ وَزَيَّنَهُ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ وَكَرَّهَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْكُفْرَ وَالْفُسُوقَ وَالْعِصْيَانَ. The pious people, for example, you are a person who listens to one of the order of Allah, that you always speak the truth. And you don't like to hear any backbiting or someone saying bad things about a Muslim. So when someone is talking or people are in that kind of gathering, you will feel like you want to distance yourself from those people. Or if it's about the salah time or prayer time in the school and things like that, and it's your time, you go to a teacher that you have to pray. And if she or he is like nagging and saying, no, you can't go, it eats you inside. So this is from goodness, that when there is haram and you are kind of hesitant to do so, then you got good things with you. However, if it's bad and you're enjoying it, you're enjoying it, and you want to cause more problems or whatever, if it's being dragging you towards the evil part, then no, the shaitan has gone inside and is making a nice home for himself. But if it's the other way around, then no, you have Allah with you. Okay. There are many explanation of this ayah. We will make one example and then inshallah finish it in that way. There are so many things that I'm skipping out. Okay. So what happens that when this person is ill, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرْضًا. His illness increases. So take an example of a person who has illness. He himself is ill. So how does it increase? So he sees his friends who are doing good things and he calls him to do the haram and bad things and calls him to the wrong way. Maybe the guy is going to the Primark to steal, and he's about to buy some sort of drugs, and he tells him that, we got to go to this person, and if we buy drugs, we're going to earn quick bucks and we're going to enjoy our life easily. So he drags someone with him. So this is فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرْضًا. He himself was already in a mess, but now he's calling other people to the mess. Like you make yourself a video and you like to enjoy music and whatever, movies, whatsoever, but you also share it on Facebook. You also share it on YouTube. You call other people to the haram. You share the music and you enjoy. You talk about it in school. You talk about with your friends, like you watched this movie last night and it was amazing and this and this. You call other people to it as well. So this is فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرْضًا. This is you increasing oneself in haram. Now, other situation is that when people have low self-esteem, insecurities, they don't feel good about their Islam, they are kind of feeling sorry for themselves. So they will encourage each other toward like interfaith kind of situations. Like, all of us believe in God. We are all good. We are all working toward one God and kind of things. That kind of mentality. There are Muslims out there who understand the reality that this is filth, this is wrong, it does not make sense, but they still will encourage toward that because of their insecurities. So they themselves are in mess and they're calling other people to the mess. Later on, what happens? That this kind of behavior, because interfaith have one agenda and it's completely opposite to Islam, there will be ayats in the Quran, لَا قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ, so on. They will change the ayat of Allah according to their own taste. So it increases in their filth. Then later on they'll be saying that, do you see the interest, it was only for the Arabs of the past and so on. They didn't know how to deal with the money and so on, so it was only haram for them. So let it be. We are living in 21st century, so calm down, be a bit soft and so on. So they will bend the sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. Later on he'll be like, I'm not so sure. Is a religion for me? So he's going to become like kind of agnostic, and then it will increase to a certain stage that he will become a preacher against Islam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this situation in Surah Hadid, but we don't have time, but I'll mention the ayah, so next time you hear it, you can read the translation. It says, يُنَادُونَهُمْ أَلَمْ نَكُمْ مَعَكُمْ قَالُوا بَلَا وَلَكِنَّكُمْ فَتَنْتُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَتَرَبَّصْتُمْ وَارْتَبْتُمْ وَغَرَّتْكُمُ الْأَمَانِي حَتَّى جَاءَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ وَغَرَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ. This meaning of the ayah. So these people, they were Muslims. They started in the same boat. But because of the fitna, because of the doubts and so on, and because of their following their whims and desires, they stayed in their filth. Now later on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. And the ulama say, the appropriate word would be عَذَابٌ مُؤْلِمٌ. So a painful punishment. But in here it says عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. A continuous punishment. So you see in Jahannam, it's not like you, in this dunya, take an example, when you receive pain, like you're playing football or something like that, and you get hurt. You see the initial stages, maybe the first few days, the leg that you hurt, or the hand that you hurt, it hurts a lot, And then it kind of fades away. You get used to the pain. Your body becomes used to the pain. And sometimes the doctors, they give a high dose of medicine, but then they decrease it later on, because your body becomes used to it. So this is not going to happen in Jahannam. It's only going to increase. The punishment, you're not going to get used to the punishment, and only going to become increase. Why is this? Because their behavior was in this fashion. They continue to increase in their filth. Similarly, the punishment will increase in that fashion. Now, there is another point about it, but last point, بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. Allah gives it a reason. Why? And this is very important for all of you. What is the reason behind all of this that Allah mentioned? Is because they used to lie. Because they habitually used to lie. So it's not like one time, it was continuous. And no matter what kind of sin you can think of, no matter how big of it is, whatever it is, the main core, the start of it is lying. If one was to leave the lying part, everything else going to become better. So this lying is the worst. If one has this habit, then he needs to be afraid that he will fall in any kind of sin. So this is the worst kind of sins that Allah mentions. And this is the only, so from the beginning of the Quran till here, the only evil thing that Allah mentioned with punishment is what? Lying, the one who lies. Because all the habits that are behind it, they are all they comes out from this lying. So may Allah make us from those people who understand the Quran and who brings it in our lives. Wallahu alam. Subhanakallah bihamdik.